Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning. Right now at 5, reaction to the governor's new curfew to slow the spread of COVID-19. What our local lawmakers are saying, and your chance to weigh in. And this morning, Pfizer has an update on its vaccine, and it could be available in a matter of days, not weeks. Both President Trump and President-elect Biden are holding meetings today with very different topics. Biden meeting to talk COVID relief, Trump inviting Michigan Republicans to the White House to talk election fraud. This is Friday, November 20th, 2020.
And good morning here at 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen, anchoring here at home, along with Taylor Schaub in studio. We begin with some breaking news this morning on the Pfizer vaccine. Pfizer announced this morning that it is requesting emergency authorization from U.S. regulators to allow emergency use of its COVID-19 vaccine, possibly bringing limited stock of vaccines to the public as early as next month. Pfizer, which developed the vaccine with German partner BioNTech, says its vaccine is 95% effective. Among more than 41,000 people in the trials, the company says there have been no serious side effects, with the most common being fatigue and a headache. If the FDA and its independent advisors approve the authorization, the decision will be kicked up to other U.S. officials on how best to distribute the vaccine. So we will continue to follow this news for you this morning, but we want to talk about your forecast as well. It is finally Friday, and we're heading into the weekend with some gorgeous weather, Kev.
Yeah, we are, and today visibility has been good. If we see any fog at all, I think it'll be more northerly up near like Hanford, Visalia. For us here in Kern County, no fog to talk about right now. We do have some cloud cover. I want to show you the satellite and radar right now, and you can definitely see some clouds did stream in overnight. Seen a little bit of clearing in the northwest section of Kern County, but there are still more clouds offshore that we'll be seeing kind of rolling on in throughout the day because we have somewhat of a zonal flow setup. It means those flows from west to east, and that's what's bringing some of these clouds in. We've got a current temperature of 47 degrees right now, and east-southeast wind at 3, and look at visibility, 10 miles. Remember, we were at 0 yesterday. As we take a look at the temperatures throughout the day, we should be in the lower 60s, so nice and comfortable for all of us. And as we take a look at Tehachapi, 39 degrees right now, a calm wind, visibility good at 9 miles. And as we take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast here, you can see also lower 60s expected. So the mountain and the valley pretty close on the temperatures today. I'll have more of your forecast for the weekend coming up in just a little bit. First, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Kevin. The majority of California placed under a COVID-19 curfew, with the governor placing 41 of 58 counties, including Kern, on stay-at-home orders during specific hours. The state's Secretary of Health and Human Services made the announcement.
We're asking that as part of this targeted, limited stay-at-home order, that people are home by 10 and stay home until 5 a.m.
Dr. Mark Galley says the limited stay-at-home order has been issued in order to avoid more serious restrictions still at the governor's disposal in the future. People will still be allowed to make a late-night run to the grocery store, get takeout food from restaurants, and walk the dog, for example. The stay-at-home orders apply to all citizens and non-essential workers. The curfew takes effect tomorrow night and will remain in effect until December 21st.
All right, and this curfew comes as coronavirus cases continue to rise in Kern County. Kern Public Health added 309 new cases yesterday, but no new deaths. Our death toll stands at 437. Public health officials say more than 37,000 people have been infected with the virus. 79 people are currently in the hospital. This is the largest increase in cases we've seen since July. But where are most of the new cases coming from? Kern public health officials say public places like churches and gyms are not responsible for the bulk of infections in Kern County. The primary culprit, private social gatherings. A grim fact when confronted with the realities of this time of the year. Health experts warn we may see a massive increase in the number of COVID-19 cases during the holiday season. So officials advise everyone to avoid traveling for Thanksgiving. But again, there are no legal penalties for doing so.
We ask you to consider the fact transmission is going up, not just here, but everywhere. And I'm not going to stand here and pretend that we have any control over what any of you do at home on your private property during the holiday.
Hospitals are getting ready to handle a possible surge in COVID-19 patients, setting aside $12 million to hire more nurses if needed. And as those cases continue to rise, it's more important than ever to know if you've been exposed. And a record number of people came out to do so just outside our studios. So many people showed up to Compassion Corner yesterday at the corner of 22nd and L Streets. Organizers ran out of tests. Officials say they were out of tests before 3:30 in the afternoon. If you had made an appointment earlier in the day, you could still come out and get tested, but they had to turn away those who didn't register beforehand. County officials are stressing the importance of everyone getting tested ahead of Thanksgiving, especially if you're making plans to get together with people outside your household. And you're encouraged to get tested even if you're not showing any symptoms. And it was a similar scene in Delano yesterday, where a free COVID-19 testing site was set up at Robert F. Kennedy High School. Organizers say during the 3 hours the site was open, they also ran out of tests, as hundreds of people showed up to get tested. And while both testing sites were a big success, one question loomed large for those who stood patiently in line. When will they receive the $25 gift cards earmarked by the Kern County Board of Supervisors Tuesday? I reached out to Kern Public Health to get some answers.
If you drove downtown, you might have noticed the cars at 22nd and L. Known locally as Compassion Corner, the parking lot was packed as hundreds came down for free COVID-19 tests. Many, however, left disappointed, believing they'd receive a $25 gift card, courtesy of the county.
I was expecting to get a gift card today.
Confusion over the Board of Supervisors' new initiative ran rampant through the packed parking lot.
I would say probably 90% of the people that were here are interested in the gift cards.
Many were left asking, if not today, then when and where will these gift cards be handed out?
The gift cards will become available to our residents on November the 30th.
Michelle Corson is the spokesperson for Kern County Public Health. She says the 12,000 gift cards will be disseminated to everyone who receives a test in the most economically disadvantaged areas of Kern.
The health of all of our residents is extremely important, but we want to make sure these residents who lack transportation, lack resources, based on this Healthy Persons Index, that they get access to this free testing and are, in this case, rewarded for doing so.
The sites include areas in East Bakersfield, Arvin, Lamont, Rosamond, and Delano. However, Corson says you don't need to live in one of these areas to receive a card.
Anybody that shows up is eligible. The testing locations are strategically within these census tracts that have been identified. However, we are not asking for identification.
In fact, the rules are pretty loose.
The only parameters are one person per site per day.
Meaning anyone in Kern County could conceivably get tested and receive a new gift card every day.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back in your 17 Business Watch. Black Friday is 1 week away, but many retailers are already offering big discounts. A Lending Tree survey found about 2/3 of Americans are planning to shop during Black Friday or Cyber Monday. More than 40% of customers say they've already shopped an early Black Friday sale. About 30% of those shoppers expect to build up credit card debt. Among those likely to go into debt, Generation X shoppers, those who've been laid off or furloughed, and parents of kids under the age of 18. Which retailers will have the deepest discounts for Black Friday? Wallet Hub surveyed nearly 7,000 deals from 26 of the biggest retailers in the U.S. Found JCPenney will have the highest average discount of nearly 57% off. Macy's follows close behind with an average discount of nearly 56%, and Kohl's comes in third with an average discount of just under 52% off. Small businesses need your help this holiday season, and tech companies are trying to make shopping small a little easier. Liz McLaughlin has more.
It's been really emotional. It's been a hard time.
Like many small business owners in America, Tanya McInerney has had a tough year.
If you really want to see your community thrive and get through this pandemic, you've got to shop local. You've got to shop small.
McInerney's San Diego vintage shop, Bad Madge, had to close for nearly 3 months at the start of the pandemic, relying on small business loans and social media sales to stay afloat.
Hi, guys.
Now her store is open.
Morning.
But more shutdowns may be on the horizon as COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. surpass 250,000. Big tech companies, including Amazon, are hoping to help.
Through the end of this year, we're actually investing $100 million to help small businesses succeed on Amazon.
Customers can peruse its small business gift guide or shop storefronts at amazon.com/supportsmall.
You could search regionally and find someone in your area. You could also search women-owned businesses or military-owned businesses.
Black-owned businesses have been hit especially hard by the pandemic, closing at twice the rate of other small businesses, according to national data.
You know, a lot of us haven't had the luxury to have certain avenues and doors open for us.
That's why Facebook is launching a hashtag Buy Black Friday campaign.
Every time you buy something, support a fund, you're really helping the livelihoods of all these people.
Encouraging users to support Black-owned businesses with direct shopping features and a live weekly show. Efforts to drive holiday spending to the businesses that need it most. Liz McLaughlin, NBC News.
17 News is your local elections headquarters. Now to the latest on the presidential transition and the very different ways President Trump and President-elect Biden are moving forward. Today, the president is set to meet with Republican legislative leaders from Michigan as he continues to challenge the results of the election. Well, Biden will meet with congressional Democrats in Delaware. Alice Barr has the latest from Washington.
Taylor, President-elect Biden meeting today with congressional leaders, governors yesterday, trying to move forward with the transition and leaving open the possibility of legal action to get the Trump administration to cooperate, though he says he wants to avoid that.
For example,
President-elect Biden and President Trump both holding meetings today with very different missions. The president-elect hosting congressional Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to talk COVID relief, with cases hitting another record high and hospitals reaching capacity. The White House Coronavirus Task Force yesterday holding its first briefing since July. Meanwhile, the president has invited Michigan's Republican legislative leaders to the White House as his campaign tries to overturn election results in that state, where Biden leads by more than 150,000 votes. Biden warning of a dangerous message to the American people.
I think they're witnessing incredible irresponsibility, incredibly damaging messages being sent to the rest of the world about how democracy functions.
President Trump's legal advisors, including Rudy Giuliani, continuing to push an unproven conspiracy of voter fraud.
They made significant mistakes, like all crooks do, and we caught them.
Giuliani refusing to give reporters evidence to back up his claims that have been falling flat in the courts. The campaign withdrawing a lawsuit in Michigan just yesterday. Republican senators now weighing in. Ben Sasse saying, quote, wild press conferences erode public trust, adding we are a nation of laws, not tweets. Senator Mitt Romney accusing the president of resorting to, quote, overt pressure on state and local officials to subvert the will of the people. The Biden and Trump teams appear to agree on one thing. The president-elect telling a bipartisan group of governors yesterday that he does not support a national shutdown because each region is different. Vice President Pence delivering the same message in that COVID task force briefing. In Washington, Alice Barr, 17 News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.